it's basically spitting in the people's face that died for their cause. And if we give this up now, we'll never get it back.
I went through Fisher Body when they went out of business, and the same thing is actually happening right now with Ford Motor Company that happened with Fisher. They ask us to take concessions. They ask us to help the company, save the company. I went to work one day, there was chains on the door, I no longer had a job. And I see the same thing happening. And I feel that if they need to save money, and they need to figure out some place to get money, we've got a man up in the CEO office that's making he made $28 million for 6 months. I'm sorry. There's nobody on this planet worth that kind of money and deserves that kind of money for 6 months or even over 20 years. $1 million isn't too much. So if they want to start cutting fat and want to save the company, let's start hitting some of these guys up in the big offices that are making money that they can never spend and their grandchildren can never spend.
Why should we have to agree to this when no one else is taking, we got CEOs that, like the plant manager at our plant before they closed the plant down, I heard he got like a $2 or $2.5 million bonus for shutting the plant down. And it seemed to me that they were trying to run that plant into the ground before we left, just to make sure that nothing would ever happen there again.
I think basically they're selling us out right now so they can bring these new employees in at lower wages. They don't have no respect for what our forefathers have fought for. We got a bridge right over here by the Rouge plant that people died to fight for the rights and
hunger march.
Right, for the things that have happened, and what we've got. And now we got to give it all up just so they can start bringing in lower wages. And I'm sorry, when Gettelfinger made the deal with Delphi, he basically sold the UAW out from that point on. And I knew it was a matter of time before it started hitting Fords, GM, Chrysler. Now it's here. And it all started with that, when Gettelfinger said, all right, we'll break the union and we'll let things go, and he's supposed to protect us and look out for us.
I think we've given up enough in the last 8 years that we haven't got no kind of raises. Now they want us to give up more. When's it going to end?
One of the examples is in our contract. They have in there about subpay. It's broke down to how many years you got in, how many weeks of subpay you're going to get. No, it's got to be straight across the board. It's got to be equal for everybody. You can't say, all right, you get less because you have less time at Ford's. And another example in there is the healthcare issue thing. I'm a 50-year-old man. They're telling me now I have to have a physical every year. But somebody 20 years old, they only got to go every 3-4 years to get a physical. I mean, it's got to be
to screen people out.
Right, and that's what it is. It's a way to get rid of people that they don't want in the system.
But I haven't heard what Ron Gettelfinger's given up. That's what I want to know. What is he giving up? As far as, is he giving up pay? Is he giving up any kind of money?
That's one of the things that really disturbs me, is because one of the biggest union models that we had in the UAW is you let management and the upper class divide, they conquer.
Yes, exactly.
And what have they done? The union has now joined management, and they're dividing us up now so they can conquer.
Yeah.
Right now, I think as a working class, our fight is with our own union, because they've turned our backs on us. Everything that we pay them to protect and support and look out for in us, they've let fall at the wayside with this contract right here. I mean, we were told that they couldn't open our contract up anymore. And here we are. We're back at the voting booths again, voting on something else.